Good morning, everybody. Silas back today. We've got a busy one. Let's get to work. Out. I think it is. Yep, she's out. It has been a crazy busy morning. I just got a phone call and something was going to happen on Monday and it's just no way I could be ready by then. So I talked them into waiting until the following Monday. That's going to be really exciting. I think you guys are going to enjoy that. But I've had a bunch of stuff coming in. I'll show you guys all the old stuff here in a second, but we just got this big old pickup load of rotors. There's a lot of weight there, over 2,000 pounds there. Plus he had a catalytic converter. They got my aluminum box out of here and they dropped this off. This is gonna be for short iron, stuff like prepared iron. I've got a whole bunch of great big bolts that are probably 1.5 feet long, foot long, something like that. And so I'll load that, but that's gonna be probably next week sometime. Not gonna worry about that right now. Right now what we're doing is I've got this truck here, got to get the front suspension and the rear suspension out of this truck and the axles and everything. The guy is buying all of that, and I think while we've got all the equipment going, we're going to go ahead, knock the nose off of it. I know this is 1 year only trim, but it's got screws in it. It's all mangled. It's not really any good. Plus you can take the other years of trim and just paint the stripe yellow and make it the same as a 77. So not that big of a deal. So we're going to cut all that up, get this truck taken apart, get the transmission out of it, all that good stuff. He's over there now working on pulling the ECM off of that Dodge diesel cab. But here's the International that I just got. This is a really cool truck. I like this thing. This is somewhere around a 1950, 51, something like that. It's an L series, so it's after the KB series, but it's before the R series. Complete truck. It's all here except for the hubcaps. Not in too bad a shape. I mean, it's got some body damage. That fender's kind of banged in. The fender's tore a little bit. The rear fender kind of banged up a little bit, but not too terrible. A little bit of rust in the back of the cab right here at the seam, but once again, I mean, it's a 70-some-year-old truck. What do you expect? It's not as bad as a lot of them are. The inside of the cab is all still solid. The cab corners, this one probably needs some patchwork. The other one's a little bit rustier, needs replaced. But you know, if somebody was doing a patina truck, yeah, a little bit of rust there, a little bit of rust here. If somebody was doing a patina truck, this truck's definitely very buildable. Stuff like that, you can patch that fairly easy and do a paint match, make it match the patina. So somebody ought to be able to do something with this truck here. If this truck is still available, I'll put it on the screen. If it's sold, I'll put sold on the screen, whichever way it is. By the time this video comes out, I have a lot of people already interested in this one. Mingo, there we go. Dodge diesel ECM. This is off of a I think it was a 12, yeah, it was a 12 valve, like a 94, 95, 6, somewhere in there. And here's what was in the truck bed. All sorts of good stuff. I think there are 13 cutoffs, a bunch of doors, a hood, and a couple tailgates. 12 noses and 1 trunk. I wish I could have got more of that trunk. I wish I could have got the whole car, but you know, life goes on. There's a couple of these, like this 41 GMC and this 41 Dodge. I would have gladly bought both of those trucks and went and got them, but he was in a hurry to get the job done. So everything you see here, the remnants of these vehicles, got the squeeze. He crushed all of them. The International survived because he didn't need it for a load to finish the load out, so he went ahead and saved the whole truck. So it is what it is. Whew, that was loud. But it is what it is. You can't save them all. Here's a 58 nose here. This truck here, that nose, and then there's the hood over there. You guys actually saw that in a video of mine where we went out to that auction out in western Kansas. I bought a bunch of other noses, and somebody else wanted that whole truck. It was a half-ton four-wheel drive 58 Ford, and I said I would buy the whole truck, but he said somebody else already wanted it, so I didn't buy it. Well, that person never showed up, and so he crushed it. So that's what happens when you say you want stuff and then don't show up, is it gets smashed. But this one here, I may sell that grill separate. That grill might be worth more than the nose is, just because it is a half-ton nice chrome grill. Here's a 60 Ford. There's the nose and there's the hood. He started cutting the hood and his last blade ran out and he couldn't finish cutting it, which is good. I'll tell you why here in a minute. International, that's a pretty cool one there. Early 60s, mid 60s, somewhere in there. About a 49 or 50 Ford. There's a 60 Chevy, probably a C60 or so. There's the hood that I already showed you for that other nose. Here's another Chevy C60, about a 1960 or, yeah, this would be a 60 model with those inserts in the hood. 60 or 61, I always get confused. 41 Dodge, 41 GMC, a couple step side Chevy tailgates, probably about a 61, I think, Oldsmobile trunk. This in here, I wish it was a little bit longer, but I think a guy can trim it up a little bit, make it more uniform. It'll be okay. A couple advanced design Chevys. There's the hood back there for the yellow Ford, and then this is why I'm glad he ran out of saw blade, is this yellow Viking hood right here. See, this in here has that type of insert, that other one has that type of insert, and they're different years, 60 and 61. I always forget which is which. But anyway, this hood here has a little bit of damage at the very tip, but there's no rust in this thing. So this hood is worth more than that whole nose right there. If that hood wouldn't have been cut, it would be worth more than the nose. So these eyebrow hoods are worth a fortune in good shape, because what happened was is in 62 Chevy started making the other style of hood, the 62 to 66 style. And if you had a 60 or a 61 and your truck was damaged, your hood was damaged, they didn't replace it with the original eyebrow hood. They would replace it with a 62 and up hood. And so these hoods, and they're really prone for rusting. They usually rot out all down the sides. And so finding these in good shape is really hard to do. So I really wish he wouldn't have cut that one. But I'm glad he didn't cut this one at least. What I'll do is I'll get a 62 and up hood to put on that other nose down there, and I'll sell this hood separate. Trying not to ramble too much. I like explaining what's going on for people, but some people don't really care anyway. Here's a 40-ish International. It's got the big fenders and the big grill, 41, 42, somewhere in there. And then here's the hood, I believe. Yeah, that's the hood for it. That one there is like kind of all apart. I don't know if a guy can bolt it back together. I do know that these headlights are worth pretty good money by themselves. So honestly, what I may do on this one here is just sell the grill by itself for a wall hanger, pull the headlights off, sell those, and then the hood, it's got a lot of good pieces on it, so I can sell the pieces off the hood. Here's another International. I can't, what does this say? Durfees? Yeah, Durfees. I don't know what that is. Durfees. It's kind of a unique thing there. It's a good looking nose. He cut it off a little bit right up by the cab, but I think this in here would make a really good desk or a barbecue or something like that, just like it is the whole thing instead of cutting off of it. The guy does cut it off. It actually unbolts right here at this seam, and then you have a real flat piece to hang on the wall. So either way, that'll sell. Here's the doors off of the same truck that say Durfee IMPL. I wonder if that stands for implements. I don't know what else that would stand for. So Durfee implements. Just kind of unique doors. A little bit sun faded, but not too bad. And then back here we have the doors off of the 60 or 61. Actually, I think 60 to 63 are the same, but they're rust-free doors. Really nice doors, other than they're going to have some bolt holes where the mirrors are on them, but that's easier to fix than rust is. So those there will be a fairly high dollar piece as well, being as rust-free as they are, because those are really prone to rusting out. I think, yeah, even up here in the corner, it had some mud on it. I thought was rust at first, but there's no rust at all in those doors. So definitely a good piece. And then here's a 52 to 53, 51 to 53, something like that, GMC door. I think Chevy is the same. And then here's the hood off the same truck, be a late 47 through 53, although I think they may have changed the emblems at some point in time through there, but the hood itself is the same. But it's a GMC half-ton hood, or half-ton to 1 ton, and I know they repop the Chevy pickup hoods, but I don't know if they repop the GMC ones, and so that might be a a fairly valuable piece there as well. So pretty good stuff. This isn't all from one location. He cleaned up several farms out in western Kansas and crushed everything. And so this is just what he's saved over the course of the last, 4 or 5 months. A lot of cool stuff here though. I'm glad he didn't just crush it all. I gave him $2,500 for this stuff. If he would have crushed this stuff, he would have got probably somewhere around $300 or $400. So he's got some time involved in it, and he brought it to me, so he's got a little bit of fuel involved in it, but he still made quite a bit more than what he would have just crushing it. I'll have to kind of piece them together, and like that 41 GMC doesn't have a hood, so I'll have to find a hood for that, and just different things like that. Clean them up a little bit, put headlights in them, all that good stuff. So I'll have some effort in them, but I'll make decent money on them. I was going to take them out to my place, but where I want to line my noses up isn't ready yet. And so rather than put them somewhere in the way, I figured I had this open area right here. I might as well just set them right there. Speaking of which, I am making pretty good progress in here. I've just about got this road open. I've got that Prius is ready to go now that we got that battery out of it. Those hybrid batteries have a pretty big core value. That's kind of an old one, so it won't be worth a whole lot, but I can't crush them anyway, so we had to pull it out. And then I've got this little Toyota pickup here. It's got a 22R in it that still turns, so I think I'm going to hang on to it for now. But once I get those out of here, and I think this Mitsubishi is ready to go, I can crush it. This car here, I just got to pull the motor out so I can get the converters, but here pretty soon I'll have this open all the way. A lot of these crates are full of prepared steel, so a lot of these are going to be getting emptied into that dumpster next week. So lots of big stuff happening out here. That's enough talking though, let's get back to work.
Still a little warm right here, so
yeah. Cab bolts out. All this is done. We can hop in the loader.
Hello, Will. Where's Will? Where's Will? There'll be 3 wires down on the bottom. There you go, Poncho.
All right, guys, I'm out here at my place now. We got quite a bit done at the other yard. I had to meet Terry out here. He wanted to look at some vehicles, but I didn't quite get everything I wanted to get done at the other yard. But like I said, we got most of it. We got that 77 Chevy all processed, got the nose cut off, got all the good parts off of that, just where it's done. And I can scrap what's left of it, and then obviously all the parts that are sold, guy is going to come get those on Monday. And then we got that Prius battery out, and then we get a few other odds and end little things that needed done. I'm out here now. I just sold this truck right here. Terry came out here to look at a different truck, and he saw this and he said, man, that's a good looking truck, and it runs and it drives. And he says, how much for the whole thing? So I priced it to him, and he said he would take it. Bad thing is a guy called me on Monday. Today's Thursday that I'm filming this. A guy called me on Monday, said he wanted it, but he didn't know when he could get here, but he would call me again on next Monday and set up a day to come get it. But he didn't want to send any money down until he could make sure he could come here. And then another guy called me on Tuesday and said that he wanted it, but he wanted to talk to his brother on it. And then his brother called me this morning, or early this afternoon sometime, and said, well, we want it, but would you take any less on it? And they wanted to think about it and talk it over, which I understand. But then Terry came out here, looked at it, and said, I'll take it. So I do feel bad for the other three people, but that's the name of the game. If I kept everything for everybody that said they might want it and want to think about it, I would never sell anything. So that is sold and headed to a new home. Terry also bought my 54 barn find. He bought my 54 short bed that I have over yonder. And then he's supposed to come out and get a load of cabs that we already have off and ready to go as well next week. So next week's gonna be crazy. And I have something, well, no, we're not gonna talk about that. That's a secret, that's for a future video. I do have a lot of stuff I have to get done out here. That'll probably be a separate video though by the time we get to that point. Tomorrow though, I have to crush all the cars that are stacked around the crusher. So I think that's what this video is gonna be about. This is gonna be a crushing video. I've got that El Camino SS, I've got a Monte Carlo SS, bunch of stuff to crush, bunch of interesting things. I got an old Plymouth, I think, so that should make a somewhat interesting crushing video. Maybe I'll do something crazy like crush that I keep forgetting what it's called, Monte Carlo SS. I'll crush it into a log or something like that. So I don't know, we'll see. But I will, oh, I almost forgot. The whole reason I wanted to film today, out here anyway, is this car right here. This came in. This is a Mercury Comet S22. Pretty cool piece. Bucket seats, console. It's missing the console lid. It might be in the trunk or somewhere else in the car. I found a lot of the missing parts for it. Like all the taillights that are missing and that chrome piece, all that's in the trunk. It's got almost all of the chrome on the side of it except for the fender spear on the other side. Pretty rusty car. Nobody's going to want to fix this whole car, but there's a lot of good parts on here. Like I say, all the chrome except for the piece that's gone, all the bucket seats and interior parts. There's a bunch of dash parts in the trunk. And then also, once we get all this chrome off, I'll go ahead and cut the trunk off of it as well. That'll make a cool couch. It's been parked since 1973, so it's been sitting a long time. They were actually hauling us this car on this trailer right here, and the old rotted tire on the other side blew out halfway here. So they had to go home and get their dolly, go ahead and lift the car up with a winch truck, set it on the dolly, pull it out, and then had to go back and get the trailer. But they made it. Here it is. It'll be fine sitting out here. I'll probably come out here tomorrow and move it in. But with that, I will see you guys in the morning. And good morning. I'm here at the yard. Got all the cars around me ready to go. I got them stacked all over the place. Some back there, some they're just kind of scattered everywhere. I did find out some news. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you guys. This will be the last batch of cars that I ever crush. I'm not going to go into details right now. That's not the point of this video. Kind of bittersweet, thinking this is it. But it's going to go out with a bang. I think the last car I crush is going to be probably, I don't know if I want to do the Monte Carlo SS or if I want to do the El Camino SS. I get all these crushed and get everything cleaned up. I'll have more details about the crusher situation in a different video. That's not happening today anyway, so we'll worry about that later. But with that being said, let's get to work. Well, I got a few cars crushed, then I got a phone call, and then another phone call, and a whole bunch of absolutely crazy, chaotic stuff happened. And so I spent the last 3 hours on the phone, got absolutely nothing else done. So I was able to push some stuff back. I guess today isn't my last day with this crusher. Monday will be my last day with this crusher. So I will see you guys then. It might look a little bit different. It's supposed to snow Sunday, so we'll see if that happens. But either way, we'll be out here. See you guys in a minute. Just sold a couple noses and a few little signs and odds and end pieces to a guy. He came actually to pick those up. He bought those a long time ago and we just now made it work, but he had these in his trailer. Somebody actually made a camper trailer and used these for the sides and part of the roof and stuff. Just crazy what people did with cool old signs back in the day. If they would have only known what those are going to be worth someday, well, they would have never done that. Check out the Mercury head over there. That's pretty cool. Got him taken care of. I had a lot of people interested in that 57 Dodge nose, but nobody sent me any money, and he was here with cash in his hand, so away it went. But now he's back on the road, headed back to Colorado. So what I've got to do is I've got to get hooked up to my trailer. I've got to load up the bucket because I've got to finish getting those cars crushed. The reason why I need the bucket is I have to shovel that crusher out, and everybody always asks me what I do with the stuff. I just shovel it out, throw it in a dumpster, and send it away. I'll go through and I'll pull out any like big chunks of metal, brake drums, stuff like that, but most of it's just dirt that falls off the cars and a little bit of glass. I've shoveled it out with a crusher a million times, but it's actually frozen today. It's about 20 degrees right now, so I don't want to do it with a shovel. So I thought, you know what, I'll just grab the bucket for the loader. Makes my life a whole lot easier. here it is, the last vehicle that I will ever crush with this crusher. Kind of a sad moment. It's kind of wild getting attached to this machine, but man, we've had this thing forever, so it feels like it's a part of me. The thing's got thousands of hours on it, and all those hours are all me. Looks like even this loader sitting at over 8,000 hours now. That's all me. When you spend that much time running a piece of machinery, I guess you do kind of get attached to it. But life goes on to bigger and better things. Away she goes. Spent so many hours of that machine. I'm gonna miss it. Well, everything went pretty good. The rear brakes were locked up a little bit on it, but we got them to brake free and it rolled right out of there. The brake lights don't work, so someone's gonna have to come fix those. But pretty soon that crusher will be gone forever. I know I'm kind of being vague and I'm not really giving out much for details, but I got some exciting stuff going on in my life. I won't be running that crusher anymore, but there's other cool things going on instead. You'll just have to stay tuned till a future video. Don't worry, I won't leave you hanging forever. But I'm out here at my place now. I've got these old Fords that came in. I've got a bunch of other stuff to do. I think this video is about done. I'll do a walk around of these cars in the next video. I just got a whole bunch of stuff that I got to get done out here, so over the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the big announcement coming up. Like I say, lots of big things happening this year. And as always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there, find an adventure. We'll see you on the next one.